My charming and fair-minded Libra friend, hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Libra, there's a tension in the air that's hard to name. You may sense it in the gentle hush before you speak or in the private pauses between your thoughts. It's the feeling of wanting equilibrium, yet finding that even the smallest ripple in your inner world sends waves across your entire week. There's a longing for things to be settled, for the heart to sigh and say, yes, this is enough. And yet beneath that, something else stirs. An unspoken wonder if the peace you're holding onto is as satisfying as it seems. You're not unsettled exactly, but you notice yourself paying closer attention to the small ways satisfaction and uncertainty mingle, like two notes in the same chord. The desire to keep things harmonious is strong, but so is the curiosity about what lies just beyond what feels comfortable. It's as if the scales you hold are weighing not just your present joy, but also the question of what you're willing to reach for next. This week, the air around you feels both still and quietly charged, inviting you to notice where contentment ends and restlessness begins. Within you this week, the 9 of Cups quietly shapes your emotional landscape. This is not the triumph of grand gestures or the euphoria that shouts. Instead, it's the quiet fullness that arrives when you have, for a moment, everything you thought you wanted. Perhaps you look around your life and recognize small fulfillments, the intimacy of a good conversation, the comfort of your own routines, the sense that you have been seen and heard. You may feel a subtle pride, a gentle appreciation for how far you've come. There's a softness to this state, a readiness to savor what's good and let the moment linger. But satisfaction, when held too tightly, can begin to feel heavy. As you sit with your own contentment, you might notice faint echoes of yearning at the edges, a wish for more depth, or a flicker of uncertainty about whether this is truly all there is. This isn't dissatisfaction, but the kind of introspective pause that follows a long-awaited exhale. You're attuned to the emotional weather inside you, aware that fulfillment can sometimes cast its own shadow. The temptation is to stay here, to hold on to the comfort and resist any change that might disrupt the balance you've found. Yet, under the surface, a single, persistent question forms. What comes after contentment? You may catch yourself revisiting old dreams or letting your thoughts wander toward unexplored possibilities. The 9 of Cups invites you to feel your own happiness fully, but it also makes space for the subtle tension of not knowing what comes next. Your heart is full, but your spirit is restless, and you sense that this state of gentle satisfaction is not the end of your story. When you dwell in this place of nearly complete contentment, a kind of crossroads emerges. The feeling of fulfillment can make it tempting to stay put, but your awareness of what's missing gives rise to a subtle momentum. The quiet restlessness that lingers beneath your satisfaction doesn't go away. It gently presses you forward, urging you to look honestly at the places where comfort risks becoming complacency. Your curiosity about what could be rather than what is begins to shape the path ahead. In this way, your inner state sets the stage for what unfolds next, turning your gaze from contentment to the dynamic friction of new challenges. Now, as the week opens before you, the 5 of Wands enters the scene. You might notice that the calm you cherished is suddenly interrupted by external pressures or unexpected tensions. These could take the form of small disagreements, overlapping responsibilities, or the lively clash of different ideas and desires, sometimes within yourself, sometimes with others. There's a sense of momentum, as if life is inviting you to engage, to step into the mix rather than stand aside. The feelings here are not harsh or overwhelming, but they are insistent. You may find yourself defending your perspective or feeling pulled in several directions at once. There's energy in the air, a spark that comes from competing priorities and the need to negotiate where your effort should go. This is not the chaos of conflict, but the friction that arises when everyone, including you, wants to be heard and seen. These moments might feel tiring, but they also signal movement. You're being asked to participate more fully, to meet challenges with your voice and presence rather than retreat into comfort. As you navigate these moments of tension, you may discover strengths you hadn't recognized or realize that your priorities are shifting. The Five of Wands brings an active, sometimes messy, but ultimately invigorating energy. You are no longer sitting quietly with your satisfaction. You are in the arena, learning what matters most to you by seeing what you are willing to stand up for. The external world mirrors your internal questioning, offering you opportunities to clarify, to choose, and to grow. This week, the friction you encounter is not punishment. It's an invitation to engage more honestly with both yourself and the people around you. Yet all this friction and movement is not simply a challenge to endure. What you do with these pressures will shape what's possible for you. If you meet these moments consciously, if you let yourself feel the discomfort and respond with awareness rather than reflex, you begin to carve a different kind of path. It's not the absence of tension that opens the door to potential, but your willingness to stand in it, to let it show you something new about yourself. The way forward depends less on the circumstances and more on your engagement with them, your capacity to be present even when things are unsettled. The possibility of growth comes from how you meet the moment, not from the moment itself. Here, at the edge of the familiar, the Fool quietly appears. This card isn't about leaving everything behind, nor is it a reckless leap. Instead, it's the gentle invitation to begin again, with wonder, with openness, with a willingness to see what happens when you let go of the idea that you already know how the story ends. Growth, in this sense, is not a demand. It's a softening, a curiosity that allows you to step into the unknown with lightness rather than fear. The Fool reminds you that when you meet the present moment with conscious attention, you create space for real discovery. The path ahead does not have to be mapped out. There is room for mistakes, for laughter, for surprise. You don't have to force a transformation, nor do you need to cling to the security of what's already been achieved. Instead, you are invited to approach the days ahead with a sense of freshness, allowing yourself to be guided by genuine interest rather than expectation. Your potential this week is not about reaching a particular destination, but about remembering the freedom that comes from beginning again, no matter how many times you've started before. This is not a promise that everything will change, but a reminder that each conscious step you take into the unknown is its own kind of fulfillment. Looking back over the shape of your week, you can see how these three influences weave together. The fullness you felt at the start, the sense that everything was just as it should be, was never meant to be the end point. It set the stage, a soft place from which to notice what you still long for. As small tensions and pressures arrived, they were not disruptions, but necessary sparks that woke you from the dream of perfect contentment. In meeting them, you didn't lose your balance, you found your footing in a new way. And as the week unfolds, you realize that the real gift was never in holding onto comfort, but in letting yourself respond honestly to the world around you. What emerges is not a single answer, but a deeper sense of trust in your own journey. There is reassurance in knowing that you can hold both satisfaction and restlessness, both harmony and friction, and that each has its own wisdom. By stepping forward with openness, you find that every ending is also a beginning, and every moment of doubt is simply an invitation to see what more is possible. You are not defined by what you hold or what you let go, but by the way you meet each moment, with presence, with curiosity, and with a quiet confidence that you can begin again as often as you need. Actionable insights for Aquarius this week. This week's guidance comes from the gentle tension between contentment and curiosity. You might try letting yourself notice what feels just a little unfinished and see how that changes the way you move through your day. You could pause when small disagreements arise, allowing your response to come from a place of genuine interest rather than habit. You may find it refreshing to treat an ordinary moment as if it's the first time you've experienced it, letting newness surprise you. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am here, steady in my center. Even when the air shifts, I stay present. I meet each new moment with a quiet heart. My willingness to begin again is strength. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.